Three, two, one. Hello there. You're listening to the Box Office Show. I'm Ryan Hill.
And I'm Dylan Johnson. Today we're going to be talking about the box office numbers from last weekend and our box office predictions for this upcoming weekend.
We'll also be discussing Steven Spielberg's return to extraterrestrial stories and summer blockbusters in his latest Disclosure Day.
I'd like to start by just saying, if you hear noises during today's recording, it's not aliens. It's construction.
Oh my.
That is unavoidable. They're unfortunately destroying the road right outside my window.
Oh snap.
So apologies for all of the construction noises you hear. Unfortunately, not UFOs.
In the bloody morning.
Yeah.
Right and early.
They're going to be doing it all day.
Jeez.
Yep.
It's supposed to tear up the roads at night. No, in the morning.
Well, no. It's like the parking lot right outside my window in my complex.
Oh, I see.
They're not going to tear that up at night while I'm trying to sleep. I'd be even more pissed.
Well, yeah. I didn't know what you're saying. You said the road. So.
Well, I mean, it's a road and parking lot. It's both.
I suppose. They're repaving your whole parking lot thing?
Yeah, this week they're destroying the road, and then in like a couple of weeks they're going to repave.
Interesting. It happened to us a couple months back, and it was a silly situation because they would block off parts of the parking lot for the night because they would work on it over like 2 or 3 days. And so it would be a nightmare to try and find parking because there's more cars than parking spots when they take away, 1/5 or 1/6 of the available spaces. So that was not fun. So hopefully they don't do that to you.
I mean, they are, but fortunately I can find spots.
That's good. All right. So the box office breakdown for June 12th to the 14th. Disclosure Day opened to 44 million.
It's not bad. Still a little low, but not bad.
Yeah. Again, in context of, original sci-fi film. Very good. Obviously, Spielberg is the king of the box office historically. So I think this is his 18th number one movie or something like that. He's still, the number one director if you count the tallies for all his movies. So, yeah, we would definitely want more, but we'll see how it plays out over summer. But definitely a strong opening for original film.
Yep. And in second place, Obsession with 19 million in its fifth weekend. Still in the top 3, top 2 even. And it's still higher than what it was in its first weekend.
Indeed.
Insane.
Going on a crazy run, and it'll never be the number one film. It was never number one at any of its weekends, but you don't need number one when you got a crazy run like this. Great stuff there. Scary Movie.
The People's Champion.
Indeed. Scary Movie with 14.2 million suffered a 74% drop. So that is the cost of having a huge opening, being very front loaded.
Yeah.
Seems like that's the MO for scary movies. They have really astounding openings, and that's pretty much a quarter or a third of their entire gross. So
the people who want to see it the first weekend, and then it's done.
Pretty much.
Fourth place, Backrooms with 11.5 million.
Masters of the Universe, 8.9 million. That also took a hefty 70% drop.
Dramatic. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, 4.8 million.
Michael, 4.2 million.
BTS World Tour, Arirang in Busan, live viewing, 3.8 million.
So another live viewing, courtesy of BTS World Tour. The Furious, 2.8 million.
And Stop That Train with 2 million.
There you go. For June 19th to the 21st, this upcoming weekend, we'll do our box office predictions. Now, here's what's exciting, Dylan. And what may be a first for the next at least 4 or 5 weekends, I believe. We have one movie from our box office draft coming out. So we have a steady 5 weeks in a row, pretty much. And it kicks off with Toy Story 5 this upcoming weekend. So, historically, of course, it's done very well. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had a fifth film.
Of
And
course.
even though they've had a perfect ending, not once but twice, they said, we're coming back for more. Because if the money is right, we will keep bringing Tim Allen, Tom Hanks, and making them work. And so they did. Toy Story 5 is coming out. Will it beat Toy Story 4's opening of 120 million, which itself beat out Toy Story 3 from 9 years earlier, which had 110 million?
It's a good question. It's going to be close. I think it will break 100 million. I don't know if it'll be Toy Story 4.
Really?
What do you think?
I think that there was some buzz about this having a rather sizable opening, like opening day, and the previews as well. So you can never tell. Toy Story 4 had some high projections, and then it ended up falling to 120 million. Still very good, but it was just under what was predicted. And so Toy Story 5, they're trying to hedge their bets here. They don't want to have the same thing happen, but there was talk of it, exceeding Minecraft and Barbie, both of which I think were like over 163 million.
Damn.
Incredibles 2 at like 180 million is still the reigning champ for animated openings. Inside Out 2 was 150 million, something like that. So
Yeah.
we'll see
That
where it
one had
lands.
legs.
I think, it's certainly going to surpass Toy Story 4.
All right.
Fall somewhere in between that and the Incredibles 2.
Was Toy Story 5 on your roster or my roster?
You don't even know?
I thought it was mine, but I can't remember.
No, it was not yours.
Damn it.
It is mine. So it's looking like it's going to be...
I hope it bombs. Then. I hope it really fucking bombs.
Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen. So it's looking like it's going to be a big, not a historic opening, but definitely one that's extremely strong and is going to power it to certainly $1 billion.
Not for this new movie. I hope it bombs.
How far up it goes. But since you clearly need to check in with your draft, and to see the summer run that we're about to go on. So there'll be some exciting box office reports. Toy Story 5 this weekend. Supergirl next weekend, which is on your draft.
Yeah.
Then
Yes.
After that, it is going to be a duo because Minions and Monsters comes out July 1st. And then, actually, I guess not a duo. And then the following weekend is Moana. And then the following weekend is The Odyssey.
They just keep coming.
And Spider-Man is 2 weeks after that. So over half our roster is coming out in the next 6 weeks, basically.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Indeed. All right, let's talk now about the main topic. Disclosure Day. Directed, of course, by Spielberg. In returning to one of his obsessions, passions, fascinations of aliens. It's written by David Koepp, who's been a collaborator on a few films, such as Jurassic Park.
Classic.
And Kingdoms of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a little mix there for sure.
They've dabbled in aliens before.
Yeah, they have a little bit. And then it's starring Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Coleman Domingo, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, Wyatt Russell, among others.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so initial impressions. You saw it recently.
Yeah.
How was that viewing experience?
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, I just sat in a theater and watched it. Wasn't a bad viewing experience. Wasn't a great one. Overall impressions, a little slow. And for a movie where a lot of things happen, not much really happens.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie.
Okay. We'll leave it there, I guess, for your initial impressions.
Yeah.
My initial impressions, I can see where you're coming from on some of that stuff. I will say it worked on me. There's Spielberg magic that is sprinkled throughout this film that I think 100% lands. There's a big issue with the screenplay.
Yeah.
I think David Koepp needed to not be the one writing this. And I would have loved to see this basic story because I do love the basic story. I love a lot of what it's
The basic
tackling,
story is fine. Yeah.
but just a lot of the way it's written,
Yeah.
how we go from one place to another, how we skirt around certain things, even just certain characterizations. I wanted more. And so I was like leaving the theater buzzing over that third act. I really enjoyed it.
The
But then I was
finale
also
is great.
thinking of like how there's pretty obvious and straightforward ways that it could have been much stronger on the character front
Yeah.
and even just tying into the themes. And so, yeah, it didn't reach its full potential, but without a doubt, Spielberg is a master. And so there's scenes in here that are instant classics. And then that finale, I was really, really stunned. I was moved. It was great. So I
Yeah, dude,
enjoyed
the
it.
last 10 minutes is great.
There you go. All right. So let's dive in.
Must be the best opening you've ever seen in your life. Am I right?
I
Mr.
was
WWE over here.
shocked. I was like, no way.
The
Spielberg is going
POV
here.
shot is
Wrestling
crazy.
ring. So yeah, they threw us right into it. We got thrown right into the middle of the story. We don't see any setup or even execution of whatever heist went down to steal those files. We're just thrown into Josh O'Connor already getting caught up in the mix with the bad guys who are trying to do some sort of exchange to get those files back. And of course, it takes place at an indie wrestling event. So
Yeah.
that's great. So yeah, we're thrown right into it, which I kind of like.
I don't mind, yeah.
Throw us into it, and then
I would
piecing some things
argue
together.
I would argue that before throwing us into it, it would have been nice to get like a little bit of background on the characters' pasts, just because I think learning about the fact that they got abducted in the very last 20 minutes of the movie, I feel like it's less of a reveal and it just makes we'll get there, but like the revelation of the house, the emotional impact of it all, it doesn't exist because I've never seen any of this shit before. So I don't understand. Like Emily Blunt is fantastic in the movie, and she's giving it all she's got.
She is so good,
And she's having like a very emotional moment for her character, of course. But I'm not feeling it because I don't give a shit about this house or anything that's happening because I didn't even know they got abducted until right then and there. And so I think it would have been nice to at least have a little bit of context around that. Not I don't need to see like their full abduction scene or anything, but just maybe like the implication of it in the beginning of the movie would have been nice. Maybe like a little scene before the movie really takes off where it's her in her house, so we could see the house initially. Maybe a little bit of her with her parents, and then maybe just like a little scene where like it implies that she gets abducted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you mean. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think they definitely sprinkle it in throughout that, they got abducted. I mean, she always says it pretty much of like, you told
Something
them about that
traumatic
thing that happened.
yeah.
Yeah, the traumatic
Traumatic when
childhood
she was
event.
10, yeah.
Colin Firth calls Josh O'Connor an experiencer.
Yeah.
Just one way of calling getting abducted, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very obvious where it's going that yes, they were in fact abducted. But yeah, I can see the emotional impact of like actually going in the house because we haven't seen it, but we're just sort of relying on her reactions to it.
Yeah.
But I think that worked.
Other than that, I don't mind like jumping straight into the action and like learning pieces and bits as we go along because they do reveal pretty much the plot within like the first 30 minutes. You kind of understand what's happening, which is I think is fine. I will say though, for the most part, start to finish, did not enjoy most of Josh O'Connor's plot. Thought it was a lot very wordy, thought it was very exposition-y, thought there was way too much theological discussion being repeated over and over again, and was not as entertained. Emily Blunt's sections, awesome. I don't know why she wasn't the main character of this.
She was the main character. You come to find out. It starts though.
I don't
on
want
Josh
to come to
O'Connor.
find out. I want it to be from her perspective almost the entire time. I want her to be the character that I'm following, and I want to learn the information through her eyes, not his eyes. That's what I want.
Right. So I,
because
because it was
she's
interesting.
experiencing this thing where her brain is telling her facts and she's 100% believing them and she doesn't know why and she's freaking out. And I think that is such a good plot device for us to learn things as well, is that she like has a revelation and then we have a revelation with her as we learn more and more and more. It would have
Mhm.
been so fun. And they didn't do that. They kept throwing us to Josh O'Connor, who is just talking about God a lot and aliens and God and running and walking and running and walking and making really stupid choices. I
True.
just don't get it.
Yeah, I like how they had it be these two separate stories that end up crossing paths and intersecting, right? Because they had to
Mhm.
be, they're two sides of this alien goal of, revealing themselves to humanity in a nice way, right? So they empower two people with two different superpowers, basically.
Mhm.
She now is an ultra empath, and now he's an ultra mathematician, which also means he can communicate with the aliens.
Mhm.
So I like how it's two different people that we have that instead of both of those being housed in one individual. I like that approach, but for sure, it kicks off with O'Connor's. He's got all the files, he's got the device, he's on the
Mhm.
run, so it seemed like it was definitely going to be his story. But yeah, as we keep progressing, I'm like, let's go back to Emily Blunt.
Yes.
Let's see
Yes,
what is
dude.
going on
Every
there.
time she's doing something, it's awesome. Just because she's like
So
bugging out. She's like a normal person who just starts bugging out, and like it's so fucking funny to watch. She just speaks other languages. She like my favorite part is like she's communicating to people in other languages and then like reading their thoughts and like giving them advice. And then she'll walk away and she'll be like, What was that? What? Huh? She's
yeah,
like completely unaware of like how she's acting. It's so funny. I love the scene where she gets pulled over by the cop. It is so good.
it's a great,
Can I go? I
yeah, it's
can
a
go
great scene.
now. Can I go now? I'm gonna go now. Goodbye. And then just drives off. So funny.
But yeah, so that's a great way to as well to reveal the like
Mhm.
what's going on there because that
Yeah.
stuff, there's stuff in the trailers. Obviously, we know it's gonna be an alien movie. We know what's going on there, but the stuff with the device and like diving into people
Mhm.
that was new to me in this,
Yep.
and then the whole Emily Blunt. We see the clicking in the trailer, and so like something's going on there for sure. But yeah, that she's actually able to basically read people's thoughts or just understand them and like what they need most, like what
Mhm.
their issues are, and then try and help them give advice, and then also being able to communicate with anyone, right? So now she is a polyglot.
She's
So I
awesome.
think
Yeah. Speaks
that
every
was great.
language.
So I really like that. But yeah, when I was talking about the characterization stuff, it was for Josh O'Connor. I wanted him to have more stuff to him.
Yeah.
Um,
There's nothing
and
there.
and I can see kind of why they were trying to do it with having the girlfriend character come along so that he's passionately like, we need to get this out there. And then someone needs to be the tempering voice of like, well, let's think about this. What is this going to do? Like once people learn this information, how's it going to cause chaos?
Mhm.
So I can see why they needed that in order to have these two ideas explored, two opposing sides, I guess, of this one issue explored. But it just doesn't give much for O'Connor to do as far as like an evolution over the movie. And then what you're talking about is sort of ties him on the plot front to doing stupid decisions in order to keep him and the girlfriend in the same loop. Obviously she makes a choice. She's like, all right, I'm gonna come along with you. But it's like at certain points, it's like, especially once you know that she's getting possessed, basically, she holds up the knife in the backseat of the car. It's like, okay, I think both of you can agree to just separate for like 3 days until he's able to deliver these files.
For real.
So it does make sense why that would continue. But yeah, they kind of explore a little later in the film. He's having a much more negative, adverse reaction to the dramatic event of the abduction, and I think
Mhm.
that would have been cool to explore. Like, had
Yeah.
he in the beginning not known what these files were, again, maybe the girlfriend's there, maybe not, but then he discovers them. It's like, oh snap, aliens are real. He's having a crisis of like, well, what do I do about this? Because even though he may have blocked it out, he still feels negative feelings about aliens and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then he's able to wrestle with that. And so it's not just this obvious, like, okay, we have two characters, Coleman Domingo, Josh O'Connor, who are like, we're getting the alien stuff out there. And then the girlfriend character, who is, we know she's going to come around because she's not actively preventing him, right? The one time that she does is when she's getting possessed by Colin Firth.
Yeah.
And then Emily Blunt also has no idea what's going on, but obviously she's also going to end up supporting putting this out there because she's also just trying to feel normal again. So it just didn't feel like we had enough of like a character fully changing from having like a really, really negative adverse experience with the aliens, which Josh O'Connor did have, right? If he got abducted. So that would have been a nice way to show that shift over the course of the film. Without that, yeah, he was just sort of there. O'Connor's great. Again, we've talked about previous performances of his. He's got it. But in this one, I just wanted more for him to do as a character.
And then in contrast, Emily Blunt has so much to do. She's great.
Yeah,
I love the scene where they like escape the hospital and the White Russell has to run over the phone and he just keeps missing it. So funny.
So yeah, she has a lot there. Dude, the Spielberg wonder that they had in this one was her going in after the delay from getting pulled over, and she's now rushing. She has to be on air in like 5 minutes, so she's going through talking with all these people, getting the makeup done, and then while that's going on, she's meeting with I forget who he was, but someone to talk about the whole World War III thing that's ramping up, and then she's speaking the Korean like nothing. Everyone else is like, what? But she's like, oh yeah, this is what he means. It was just a little translation error. That was great. Like that is just pure Spielberg masterclass. And it does so much as well of like one, introducing us to all the people there, two, showing in action, right, more of her powers coming to the fore, including the being able to speak Korean. But then it ends with that big moment from the trailer where she starts speaking in alien tongue. All this is one shot. That's crazy. Emily Blunt had to go around, do all this stuff, remember all her lines, all her marks, speak in another language, go back to speaking in English, but in a different accent than her normal accent, and then goes up there and starts speaking alien and, has to react to all that. That's incredible.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's a great scene.
So, yeah, that was exhilarating. Great stuff there. Now, to go back to the theological discussions, you weren't a fan? You didn't like this?
I didn't need so much of it. I feel like so much of the movie is about whether or not it's worth telling the people that aliens exist just because they might break down because of their own like internal beliefs. And I feel like more of the movie should have been about like whether or not it's like there's other reasons why you shouldn't release this information. I don't know why they spent so much time talking about God specifically.
Right.
There's like many reasons why you shouldn't release this information. Many reasons why Wardex is trying to keep you from releasing this information, not just by being like an asset to the military industrial complex, but just in general, like the world order. And like Colin Firth does speak on that a little bit when he's talking to Jane, but there like isn't much discussion outside of it. I do like the conversation that Hugo and Colin Firth's character have when he dives on Hugo. I like that scene. I feel like that's like a little bit more about like, oh, we shouldn't release this, and Hugo's speaking like you didn't used to be this cruel, things like that. I enjoyed that a little more, but for the most part, they just talk about God so fucking much in a movie that's supposed to be about aliens.
Do they though? I mean, how many times there's the first scene where they're in the house where she brings it up?
It's like Jane's character arc. Jane's character arc is she has to set like the whole plot of the movie hinges on her being willing to accept both belief in aliens and belief in God and deliver the device at the end of the movie. Like the whole movie hinges on that plot point.
Yeah, and but when she disappears, she just calls her nun.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, but just double checking. So
yeah, and her nun believes in aliens.
Yeah.
Her nun's wearing like an I believe shirt with like a little gray alien on it.
She was down with all the the UAP releases or
Your
whatever
nun is
the
like, have you not heard of Roswell, New Mexico?
conference. Yeah, she's like really into aliens and everything.
Yeah.
She's a big believer. She's like, come on, bro. We've been on this. We know this. Yeah, I would say, as I love debates, I love philosophical arguments and whatnot. I love
It's
seeing
too
that play
much
out
in a
in
movie
film.
where there should have been more action.
I
I
just
came
think,
into this 2.5 hour movie expecting there to be some good action, and there was very rarely any action.
mm, yeah,
It
I
was
don't know if I was
mostly just
expecting
discussion.
crazy action, but I like that this idea was brought up because I think it's a compelling thing to interrogate and look at when, yeah.
Mm,
So here in this world, right? Obviously, they're saying aliens exist. So if you were to release that information, I mean, it would cause a reckoning for a lot of people. I think it's interesting to explore that.
sure.
And I just think the dialogue itself, or maybe just the line deliveries as well, it just felt very, I don't know, just not quite natural, organic. It felt too much like
Felt
they were
gimmicky a little bit.
pausing and were, yeah, that'd be a good way to say it, a little gimmicky of now we're going into this discussion of a major thematic point that the writer wants to bring up. And again, I like that he wants to bring it up. I like delving into this idea in the context of this film. I just don't know that it was a full home run or even, a solid hit. It was a little bit of a bunt, I think. And that being said, I also like the final line that ties in with this whole plot thread or thematic thread to an extent. Where she's on the phone, she's like, "Are you sure?" And then the nun is like, "Look, in Genesis it says God's favored creature on Earth, not anywhere else." And I'm like, okay. Except I'm pretty sure it doesn't specify like on Earth in that particular way, and specifically, the whole thing is made in God's image. That's the whole part about humans that is supposed to
Yeah.
distinguish us from all the other animals that were created. Is one that we weren't just snapped into existence in a way. It was we were molded, and then two, we were made in His image. So that would imply aliens would not be in His image. Um, but still, I was like, okay, that's a nice way to, if you're having a character wrestle with that.
Yeah. With the aliens, he was just fucking around.
Yeah, so there's just some crazy stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna give him really long limbs and really big black eyes and really big heads and really skinny
Maybe,
bodies and
yeah, they'll be
make him really
gray.
smart and empathetic. Yeah, let's see what happens.
They're gonna fly around like crazy. They're gonna love flying around. They're gonna crash a lot though. They don't know how to fly, but they'll love to fly. That will cause problems.
They're gonna really, really
However,
like pianos. Do 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 do.
true. They love music. So yeah,
Maybe a bunch of
I
little weird guys on this other planet.
so I don't know if it was just the approach, like the actual execution of how it was integrated, but the fact that they did integrate it, I really like that choice. Now, as
It's
far
not a
as
bad idea.
other,
It just feels like a lot to me.
yeah, well, so you're expecting more action. So how about the action we did get? How'd you feel about those?
It was good. The car chase was good. The train scene was good. That's it. That's the only action in the movie. Was the one car chase, which was fun, and then the one scene where they get pushed into a train, and then that is the only action in the entire 2.5 hour movie. It's like five. I think it's 5 minutes total of action in a 2.5 hour movie.
True.
You could make the argument that them driving away in the invisible fire trucks is kind of action-y, but again, not really. It's
I'd say so.
suspenseful. It's not really.
It's a set piece
Not
for
really
sure.
an action scene. It's an idea. It's not quite a set piece. There's just
It's
not
a
like
set piece.
action that happens. They just drive away, and it looks funny, with the water spreading out when there's no actual truck there. It's kind of funny.
In the warehouse as well.
But name another action. Name another
where they're
action.
running up against the invisible stuff. I like that. Some good gags.
It's a good bit, yeah.
With it.
Not quite an action scene though.
I enjoyed that. However, again, the one we get, dude, the train sequence.
The train was good. The train was good. Why wasn't there like more of that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I guess you're coming in expecting a different movie. From the trailers, I was not expecting, action
Really?
heavy like crazy.
Really?
But what Spielberg film is,
the trailer shows almost all of the action scenes in the movie in their entirety. Almost entirety of the action scenes. It shows almost the entire train sequence, and it shows almost the entire car chase. And
There's no
so,
way. The entire train sequence? It doesn't show the car on the tracks, surely.
yes, it does. It shows them getting pushed into the train. It shows the train dragging the car, and it shows Joshua Carter going, "Jump, jump now!" And then her jumping and the train almost hitting them. Like it shows the entire fucking scene, and then
Right.
it shows the car getting driven out of the house in the chase scene. It shows
Right.
like, the other cars chasing it,
I do remember
which is
that part.
pretty much
Yeah.
the entirety of that scene as well. So
Yeah.
every single bit of action that was in that movie, I saw in the trailers.
Well, it is what it
And the
is.
rest of the 2.5 hour movie was conversation,
Blame the marketing team, I guess.
I suppose.
But yeah, to me, that wasn't a problem. I was not really going in expecting crazy action. I could see you wanting more conspiracy thriller type stuff
Yes.
since they're supposed to be on the run and a government agency is chasing them. My issue, one of my other big issues with the script is these are like the least threatening, least dangerous, government adjacent officials trying to cover up a big secret I've ever seen.
They're
Like
really bad at their job.
they're really bad at their job. They also
Shoot somebody. Just
they
shoot them.
don't. One guy who like goes rogue kind of starts shooting at them, but no one else. Like they never manhandle them. They never really threaten them. Like it starts with them giving back the girlfriend character, and I'm like, okay, these guys seem really, they're reasonable. They're not trying to hurt anyone. They're not gonna kill either of them and stage it as something went wrong or anything like that. It just feels very Saturday morning cartoon villains rather than what you'd expect from a 70, 80-year cover up
Yeah.
where they're desperately trying to hold on to this information. So that part didn't quite track. They were not really that dangerous or threatening. I also think it was epitomized in Josh O'Connor using stealth mode to evade the dozens and dozens of people when
Yeah,
they're
dude,
at
that
that
shit
one
was
house.
wild.
He was crouching. It was a great shot, coming up from behind him. He goes up to the fence, and then we see it tracking there, and then we sort of swoop through the fence, and then we swoop around it. Great shot, great stuff there, but just really.
How is he walking into like their car and turning it on? Like they left the keys inside and the door unlocked?
I guess so. I mean, they need to be ready to get out of there quickly, perhaps.
Inept.
Or what the explanation there is. But then he also like drives into a tree midway through that sequence where I'm like, what are you doing? If your plan is to go back to the house to save her rather than just flee, okay, fine. But if you're going to do that, then start driving, where there's nothing obstructing your path. Like, did you forget how to drive as he was doing that? Like, come on. It's time to lock it.
Crazy.
So again, that was a little silly, but I do, again, some of the camera work there was great. And then the car bursting through the house. Definitely strong imagery there.
Yeah.
I like that. I also really like the scene, the whole diving thing. I think it's a cool concept. I think the way they handle it with, the colors of the eyes changing. And then when they're sort of across the table from each other, and he's trying to push her to reveal the information about where they are. She's trying to resist. Is like holding onto the cross, and it's bleeding in her hand now. I thought that was a compelling little moment of tension there.
Sure.
So again, they have things here that are strong, compelling, very interesting, but in other ways, again, which is the whole villain arc, didn't seem to really help amp up the stakes in a way that we would have wanted from what it seemed like. Again, I wasn't expecting action. I was expecting more thriller, more conspiracy thriller.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really.
I'll take either, bro. I'll take either. And I got neither. I was taking either, and I got neither.
I will say, again, the end of that train sequence, a knockout scene from Emily Blunt. Her panic attack that she was doing in the train.
It was a little much.
You thought it was a little much? I thought it was fantastic.
I thought her performance was great. I think the idea of just like feel the piano. I don't know, man.
Well, I think that's an actual way to help people come down from a panic attack is to feel out your surroundings and focus on something else, especially if something is
it felt
moving
gimmicky.
And shifting. It's both vibrations, feeling, and then it's sound as well. So it's just a way to ground you back in reality.
I don't know. Maybe it was the
So
way they shot it, or I don't really know. It just felt gimmicky to me.
interesting. Gimmicky. It's a new term coming out. I don't know that we're. How's that gimmicky if
I don't know.
she's
I
being
think the
asked to
way
touch piano?
they did it just felt gimmicky to me. Not
Okay.
gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Well, I thought that was great. Great performance from Emily Blunt. Again, throughout this film, she was incredible. That was definitely the big scene where she really had to knock it out of the park,
Mm.
and she did.
I mean, I think she's knocking
The
it out of the park this whole movie. She's the best part of the movie.
Oh, for sure. But again, that one's like the scene where it all rests on her to really deliver something believable there. And I
Mm.
like that they took the time to after this action scene to allow her to have that freak out moment because again, she's just some normal person that got thrust into all this. She wasn't even like O'Connor who signed up to be like, okay, now I'll be on the run, I'll get chased. So that's a lot to deal with.
Mm.
Would you think of the scene where he gets captured and she comes to rescue him? So a little bit before the whole train sequence thing.
I like the setup of her just conning her way into the base. I think that's fun, but I think the idea that she just walks in, grabs him, and walks out, and the only reason they don't stop her is because she looks like they're dead loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think is kind of stupid. Are you telling me that this guy, whose one singular goal is to stop at nothing to keep from this information being released, he's gonna see his dead wife and he's gonna go, "No, no, don't touch her," and then not do anything. And the only guy that's going to try and do anything is just this random henchman.
Yeah, who apparently had no one he loved, I guess, or just didn't look at
Yeah,
her enough. Um, yeah, I
I
don't know
don't get it.
the Colin Firth thing because at the very end he just sits down. He doesn't. Again, you would think they would do anything such as arresting them for having stolen information. Number one, or number two. Again, if they're that crazy of a group, like they would just go in and start popping these people. But he just comes in. He's like, well, they got the backup power on. I guess actually the device, whatever she has, like turned the power on. She's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess that's it. So he just takes a front row seat to Disclosure Day. He's like, all right. Um, so I don't know. I don't know that he was all that. I mean, he was the head of this program. He was trying to keep it under wraps, but he didn't really go to truly great lengths. He just wanted to, I don't know, use the device, dive a couple times, and then he's like, all right, that's it for me. So yeah, on one hand, I don't know, there could have been more to it, but on the other hand, has never happened to them before, I'm sure, right? Because her powers are unique in that way. So imagine
Mm.
seeing somebody, for him as the wife, or the other people, it was like various, like a parent or a child or a loved one or whatever it was, like seeing them in front of you. So they're not even seeing Emily Blunt, they're seeing that real person talking to them, living, breathing, moving around. For sure, it would stun them for a bit, and then you wouldn't be able to, again, not that they were trying to take shots or harm them, but even just apprehend them, they would be a little bit shocked. But he does just let them go. I don't know why he just
Mm.
it's like, all right, allow them to go, rather than being like,
It's
do
crazy.
not believe your eyes, they're lying, or that's not what you think. So yeah, I don't know what his goal there was particularly, but yeah, they just walk out.
Yeah.
What a way to
Colin
evade
Firth,
capture.
not a very good villain in this one.
No, I like him in it, but yeah, the character is not
Unfortunate.
written perfectly well. The childhood home, recreating her childhood home so that
Great
it'd be a
idea.
little bit
Would
easier.
have been really emotional had I seen the house before. Had I had any kind of connection as a viewer to this house, would have been a really excellent idea.
Uh-huh.
But you have the reveal, you see the house, she has a huge emotional moment, she reveals that it's her house, and you go, okay, why do I care? Why do I care that this is your childhood house?
Right.
I don't really care.
Dang. Hardcore. Then you could have seen as it's being constructed and assembled over the course of the film. Coleman Domingo's on the line with either of the other two characters. You could start piecing together like, oh, they're rebuilding the house. What for?
Yeah,
What's going on
exactly.
here? So I
Would that
could
have
see
been
that for sure.
cool?
So we get the alien abductions. So they got taken as little
Interesting
children.
scene. The CGI in this movie is a little odd. The CGI animals not great.
Yeah, I know what's going on there. I don't know why we didn't use puppets or something of the sort. I don't know why they
Real
went for the
animals, like a
CGI
deer just
animals
walk into the scene.
or that. Um,
I think it's a consistency thing because there's some shots where you need the animals to be CGI, and if they're real in some and CGI in others, perhaps it would be an odd thing to view. Like the scene where the deer turns into the alien, obviously that has to be CGI.
yeah,
And
keep
so if
that
you
one a
have that do
CGI.
it be a CGI.
But if have that be your money shot CGI, it was a great shot. It looked very cool. So yeah, that has to be.
It looked okay. Again, the CGI in this movie is not
Well, yeah,
begging,
the CGI wasn't
really.
excellent, but
The
the idea
alien
of
at
the
the
shot
end, anticlimactic.
was great. So I mean, the idea of the shot is great. The only thing holding it back is the CGI. So that's why I say if you had more of your CGI going towards that one big money shot, then things would have evened out nicely. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they weren't able to get better CGI animals on this. But yeah, I do like again that whole sequence when they show up and they get into the invisibility shenanigans. I think that was quite
Mhm.
good. And then yeah, we get the
Yeah.
whole news station stuff at the end. This was, I think, the key to the film. Like if you
Best part of the
weren't
movie
on
was the
board,
actual disclosure day.
yeah, you needed to feel moved in some way by the actual disclosure, and I 100% was. I thought it was executed perfectly. Seeing all the images with here, doing the CGI ships of these aliens, they knocked that stuff out of
Mhm.
the park. So that looked great.
Um, it's cool, shocking. It's the only part of the movie that was like truly bona fide interesting. I like seeing the reactions that all the people have. Everybody's just on their phones and stuff,
Hmm.
mesmerized by the aliens. There's a couple like silly things that you have to get past to really feel the effect of the disclosure itself. And I was able to get past it, but I could see how some people wouldn't.
Like,
Just
well,
like just like how silly it is that Colin Firth just gives up. He just goes, "Oh, I guess it's over," and just sits down.
yep.
And then the silliness factor of how quickly the other news stations and just the people in general accept that it's real footage. And I guess they make the reference to like, oh, this is confirmed, not AI. But it's like, I don't know. We live in a day and age where like the I think I watched another podcast say this exact same point. But we currently live in a day and age where the disclosure of information is constantly criticized as being false when it's clearly not. And so the idea that they could just share this footage and everybody widely accepts that it's real seems a little bit optimistic in my eyes. Like no pundits are criticizing it. Nobody's saying this is fake. Nobody's disagreeing. Nobody's brushing it off as nothing. There's just no fucking way. Your response.
Yeah, I would say the totality of all the footage and just how kind of undeniable all of it is with clear aliens, clear UFOs, all that stuff lends the credibility to the fact that, okay, this is all happening all at once. It's all, like who would be able to organize all of that? I think that's part of what, as far as the newscaster side of it, is why they're like, okay, we're gonna let this fly, let it ride. And then I think because of that as well, if it's on every single channel, which they go to great lengths to show that it is, then obviously that would immediately filter down into the internet and social media. I've seen that criticism where it's like, oh, no one watches the network news anymore. They really think this is the place to do it. And it's like, you 100% do get information from network news and whatnot. It just filters down. But obviously,
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that was a criticism I had. Yeah, I agree.
during COVID, remember the 2 weeks afterwards where no one was on the streets? Everyone got that information. Like it came out. Same thing with, I mean, even just information more recently of, I mean, I'd hope if people are plugged in at all, we know what's going on with, the Iran war and everything. Again, like that
Yeah.
filters down from the news up there. So even if you see it online, if you see a YouTube video of it or you see a social media post, again, it's coming from, the networks are releasing that same information. So yeah, that to me just seemed like a stupid criticism. And again, it's movie logic, right? Obviously, this wouldn't
Yeah.
happen instantaneously, I'm sure, within.
I noticed they didn't call Fox. They called BBC. They called ABC, they called CBS,
CNN, yeah.
CNN. Didn't call Fox. Fox is
Mhm.
the pundits. It's Tucker Carlson.
We're
Why are
just asking
the aliens
questions.
only in America?
What
Why
do
are
they
the
want with us?
aliens only here? Why would they choose America and not the other nations? Perhaps the aliens know that we are indeed the better nation. Perhaps the aliens know that we're the ones who they need to contact.
There you go. So, or yeah, something like that, where what would be more logical? Like it goes down to a bunch of streamers or the alt
The
media
end of
pundits like
the end of the
Tucker
movie is
Carlson.
Twitch streamers critiquing the footage. That would go so hard. That would
XQC
go
going
so
like,
hard. They're
chat, I
sitting
don't
there
see it.
like
It's
they're
not
like
real. It's not real.
chat.
Aliens chat.
If you look in the corner here, you can see actually a little glitch here in the pixels. That's obviously CGI. That it wouldn't do that if it wasn't. If you look here, this guy he has 6 fingers. That's obviously AI. That's obviously AI chat. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Chat, chat, come on, chat. Yeah,
Buy my
so it,
Bitcoin.
yeah, gambling. Let's
Buy my Dogecoin.
on cow sheet. Let's do some gambling. Let's do some betting. So
That's how
yeah.
it should have ended, bro. It was true to
Emily
reality.
Blunt just goes up and delivers. And here, get this code. Start betting on cow sheet now. So yeah, I don't know. That seemed like a silly criticism, but obviously also it is meant to be an optimistic portrait of what is the one thing that can unite everyone in the globe. This information about we are not alone. I mean, obviously that would be monumental. And of course,
Mhm.
especially in the day of AI and whatnot, it would be scrutinized at first. But again, I think if you see a 30-minute reel basically of all the alien footage that's been collected over, the 60, 70 years, and they look as vivid as this imagery is, it would be compelling, at least enough to where everyone would be like stopping on, like in the airport when they're supposed to be collecting their luggage. I thought that was a great shot. Or people stopping on the street. Like just it's compelling imagery number one. So let's have that in there. But also too, it's part of what Spielberg is getting at, I'm sure, which is, if we had this knowledge, this would be what could bring us together, or at least get us to, as Emily Blunt says, the final line of the whole thing is listen. So now, everyone's attention is on one thing. Maybe then, we can appeal to doing things better, doing things more empathetically, all that, right? Which is the whole point of her having this power, the ultra empathy, being able to communicate with people, understand their deepest feelings and traumas and whatnot. So
I still think it's just a bit of a leap.
I don't think so. I again, in the real world, would that be how it goes down? Of course not. But again, this is obviously, aliens in this way are not real. And so we're already taking leaps of logic. I think it's fine to showcase a what if of if there were a disclosure.
But they do the same thing at the end of Close Encounters that we just talked about, where there's now a leap in logic in what I think characters would actually do for the sake of like a metaphor being made, and I just don't think it works. I don't know why he gets on the ship at the end of Close Encounters. I don't know why he abandons everything.
You don't think people would be glued to their screens?
I think they would, obviously. I don't think that's the problem I have with the metaphor being made here. I think the idea that we are now united and that we will listen to like reason and that World War III will be interrupted because we're all united in this common belief that aliens now exist. I don't know. I think that is hopefully optimistic in a
Yeah,
way.
I think certainly optimistic. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, though. I do think
I believe it is.
there's something to be said of if that were to happen, and now everyone is at least on the same page about like this is stunning, this is crazy, and then now it's like okay, we know we're not alone. There's other beings in the universe.
But
Recontextualizes everything, so it's
there's
like
other sources of media that make that point better, like Watchmen, where the whole idea is they fake an alien invasion and like murder thousands of people in like an attack on the earth in order to do that exact same thing. And I think that is a much more poignant point of we are united as a planet in hatred against a fake group of aliens, as opposed to in Earth we're now united because we believe in aliens and there's hope. Like I feel like that point is being made in a stronger way in Watchmen than it
well, I
is
think
here.
I think Spielberg would recognize as well. That's human instinct would be you're more easily and instantly united by having a common enemy. But the whole point of having, ultra empath Emily Blunt going around and healing people's childhood trauma by just looking at them and giving advice. So all in all, that's why I think it's a beautiful message. Yes, optimistic, I think intentionally so. I think it's a nice way to wrap it all up. I also think the newscaster who was narrating all the stuff at the end there was really strong.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, I guess I can't disagree too much. How many Cardinals out of 5?
3.5.
Okay, I'm giving it a 3. That's all the time we have. If you'd like to give your thoughts on the show, you can email us at theboxofficeshowpod@gmail.com.
Our main title name of the show, Sundown by Joseph McDade. The aliens are coming.
If you like the show, please give us 5 stars on our podcast that we're listening to. Tune in next week. Have a great rest of your day. Run!